So, Jim, tell me a little bit about Mr. Smith.
Mr. Smith is approximately 60 years old. He's a veteran of the military, worked for the post office, college graduate. He's been homeless close on 30 years, almost 30 years he's been homeless in Boulder.
Wow. What's his history in the municipal court?
In municipal court, mostly status offenses related to his homelessness, and by that I mean, let's see, 60 some odd cases in the last almost 8 years, the vast majority of which are for camping.
So, what resources are available for somebody like Mr. Smith?
Well, because of his age, there's actually quite a few resources available. For instance, up until he's 62 years old, if he is not able to qualify for Social Security, um, retirement benefits, or disability benefits, or anything like that, there's something called OAP, which is old age pension. You are eligible for that at the age of 61. So we've taken advantage of that process, and that's from the state. The OAP is. So we're currently going through the application process of OAP. He's pretty much guaranteed. It's unfortunately just a big bureaucracy that we're trying to negotiate. A lot of the resources that are available are difficult to get for someone who's been homeless for 30 years. They don't have valid IDs, birth certificates, transportation phones, money, any of those situations. And government bureaucracies are great at making it hard to access those things. For instance, when we went to apply for Social Security benefits, they told him he wasn't eligible because he was in public housing. They considered the Boulder County Jail to be public housing. So he was denied the Social Security benefits that otherwise he would have qualified for, quite easily, in fact.
So, how are you helping him to access these resources that he's eligible for?
Really, what I'm doing is just handling logistics. I'm driving him to meetings, scheduling meetings, because people can call me, since I have a telephone at my desk, they can call me to schedule things, and then I can communicate with Mr. Smith, what time the meeting is. I can pick him up, take him there. I can ask questions that he might not think to ask because for instance, I know the next phone call that I'm going to have to make to the next agency to get him hooked up with housing that he might not be aware of. And they don't make the process, as I said, easy for someone who's been out of the system so long to figure out.
Are there other barriers besides the one that you've already talked about?
Absolutely. Just for instance, we tried to get his birth certificate. He was born out of state. We contacted that agency in another state via the phone, which their agency loves to do. We call them up. Hey, here's a credit card number. Here is a place to mail it. And because he didn't have a daytime phone, they said that they wouldn't mail it. I tried to leave my daytime phone. Oh, you can certainly contact me. They instantly became afraid that, oh, well, you're a probation officer. We can't. No, this just sounds weird. You have to request it via the mail. Well, via the mail, it requires an extra 2 to 4 weeks on top of the original 2 to 4 weeks. So it's bureaucratic challenges like that that are really the barrier to getting these folks into the services that they can really take advantage of.
What's likely to happen in Mr. Smith's case?
I am quite optimistic that within the next 2 to 4 weeks, again, I'm quite optimistic that he will see the end to 30 years of homelessness. He will finally be off the streets in long-term permanent housing, as it were.
Great. Thank you so much.
For sure.